here we go. So as we all know, we are here for my first ever wrestling review. I'm pretty sure you all have done it before, but we're going to review WWE TLC from this year. Just took place back on Sunday. And there's a lot to unpack and unwrap, in regards to the pay-per-view. So I think we should just go down the card match by match and just see everyone's thoughts and recaps.
And pre-show as well, or
since it was just one match, we can include the pre-show too.
And I just happened to pop up on the network, and I just happened to have the full card pulled up, so on my phone. So however y'all want to go down the card, we can run it that way.
Yeah, we can do that way.
Yeah, that works.
And also, if y'all want to give a rating for the show, we can use either a happy face or a sad face for the whole program. So, however y'all want to run it, we can do it.
I'd say we do our ratings. We doing number scale. How do you want to do this?
I think for me personally, in regards to ratings, I think a number scale would work, like out of 10, like a rating out of 10.
Sounds good.
I think it's kind of because it's what I'm used to, seeing. So I usually just go down that route.
Okay, that works.
Well, the pre-show started. I think it was pre-show actually started with the talking. Booker T still forgetting that it's 2020, not 2008.
Yeah.
Jeez. If I hear the shucky ducky quack quack moment of the night one more time, I'm
gonna lose it. I was gonna rip my hair out. I agree.
I got it. I don't recall that
why?
Too much. His shacky ducky quack. I never knew where he got that from. Where did he get that from?
That sounds like Attitude Era-ish.
He said in WCW when he was in Harlem Heat with Stevie Ray. They were in a feud with somebody, and he was like, "Oh, shuck it, duck it, quack, quack." I'm like, "Oh Lord, watch this crap."
Oh my God.
Oh, well, I have to check that network to find out where he started, because 2008, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he in Impact?
2008, he was.
I think
wasn't he doing the King Booker stuff, or maybe he was. He might have been in Impact. Who knows?
I think he was an Impact because he was in that faction, like Main Event Mafia.
The Mafia.
Yeah, Main Event Mafia.
Yeah, all the washed up WWE people.
Yeah, that's basically.
Oh, no, Jesus! Why washed up? Oh God!
Let's call it like you see it. Call it like you see it. Yeah, but aside from that, talking about the 8-man tag, I remember it being Dan Bryan, Big E. I'm like completely
Chad and Otis.
Gable and versus Cesaro, Nakamura, Sami Zayn, and blanking out the last person.
Baron Corbin.
King Corbin, I think.
Yeah, that's probably why, because that match was kind of a blur to me. And I think my biggest issue with it, there's a couple of main event card guys, or guys who I think should be in the main card, the main event, and they're like bumped down to the pre-show. And the biggest case for that, in my honest opinion, oh my God, Cesaro. He's been in WWE going on 6 or 7 years now, but he's never really been utilized to his full potential. He's always been in that.
Doing him a disservice.
Yeah, major disservice. Yeah, just like, how's this guy not in the main event? I just don't get it.
They misused Nakamura as well. Nakamura's misused. They're misusing Sami Zayn. Chad Gable can actually go in the ring. They're misusing him. Mm-hmm. Big E was misused until they New Day, and we all know what Daniel Bryan did, and I still think that's punishment what they're doing to him now, because he got over without Vince's help. So, fun times.
Just
I almost forgot his old entrance. I didn't even know his entrance was the powerhouse entrance that he had with the powder and all that.
Yeah,
I actually forgot about it because it hadn't been seen in 8 years.
Yeah, because and when he was in NXT, his actual entrance music was "I Need 5," and that was his gimmick. Like, you up so bad, he would refuse to take a 3 count. He would make the ref count to 5.
Yeah.
Nobody knows these things about Big E because they're just so used to him swiveling his hips, saying, "Feel the power," and here we go. But
sound like Kurt Franklin.
And I was going off of that point, Dexter. I was initially kind of ticked off when they started the whole New Day thing. I was like, "Oh my God, here they go with the racial stereotypes and African Americans again." But
I was. Then I found out that it was their decision, and Vince trusted. For some reason, he trusted Xavier and Kofi to make it work. I think it was a bet. When Xavier told some interviews, he was like, "I made a bet with Vince that I could do it my way and make it work." And Vince said, "If you don't do it, you're fired." And they made it work. And 8 years later, they're like the most tag team ever, second highest sell besides John Cena. It's bet on yourself.
I honestly did not. I don't think I understood the New Day thing until I saw it. I'm thinking the New Day was going to be modern day.
I still don't understand the New Day. I'm
don't
happy
understand it either.
I'm
but
happy to see them. I laugh, I cry. I mean, it hurt watching them break up, but I don't understand the New Day. I never did.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The only thing that the New Day thing that I got from them is their gaming thing with Xavier, but their WrestleMania 32 entrance doing Dragon Ball Z. That was like the only thing I ever got.
In the big box of Booty-O's.
I'm thinking it was going to be what? Who was the last faction we had of predominantly black? Nation Domination?
Nation Domination.
That's what I was thinking when I saw them. And they were going to add 2 other people who knew. But
they were supposed to add others, but that didn't work. The thing I got the most from the New Day was the power of positivity, and
that's what I got too.
Turning a powerhouse like Big E and making him at one point a joke character who made it work. He made it work. Kofi was the high flyer that you always expected to do something weird during the Royal Rumble, just to get eliminated like 2 minutes. And Xavier was supposed to be that mind outside the ring, but they forgot he could go in the ring. And then poor Francesca. What number are they on now? Like,
different. I know. Yeah, I know Xavier can go in the ring. A lot of people might not know this, but he actually was also in Impact Wrestling as well.
Yes, he was. Austin Creed
doing X Division. So he can go. He's competed against some real good guys in Impact Wrestling back when they had that 6-sided ring. So for those who haven't looked him up, look it up.
Yeah, he was a top player in Impact. But going back to the actual 8-man tag.
What happened to Impact? Or is that another show? Never mind.
Impact is, I don't know what happened. It's made so many changes.
I can vouch for Impact right now, Dex. I can tell you right now.
Better,
they're hitting on cylinders. Yes.
Yes.
I know they're working with AEW right now.
You're gonna feel older than what you are when I say this, man. But they have RVD, they have Ken Shamrock still going. They have Jazz of all people.
they letting RVD do RVD. You know, he be
RVD
on
of
the ganja side. He
ECW.
be
Yeah, like back in the day, RVD.
Yes, they letting him do RVD. Ken Shamrock is still going strong, and he looks like the badass that he is.
Hey, I mean, if they finally got the ownership and leadership of TNA under control, more power to them.
Yeah, that was my biggest issue.
Bad product.
I don't know who the
Dixie Carter didn't know what the fuck she was doing.
Yeah, Dixie was terrible. I agree.
I don't know who the ownership is, but I know they have a lot of old a lot of recently released wrestlers from not WCW, but from WWE, and everybody's going to AEW now. So if you're not making it to WWE, you're going to AEW, and or you can make it to Impact Wrestling. A lot of the WWA4 Wrestling Alliance School students are down there in Orlando, so they still hanging on. As a matter of fact, they have an episode on tonight at 10 o'clock. Well, at 8. So yeah, they've been rendered to Tuesday nights.
Apparently, Anthem Sports owns Impact now, and get this: Steve Harvey is an investor in Impact Wrestling.
Really?
Wait, Steve Harvey? Steve. Oh, Jesus.
That's Steve Harvey?
That's Steve Harvey, yeah.
Not our Family Feud with Steve Harvey. Come on, man.
Yes. Yeah, Kings of Comedy, Steve Harvey.
I am shook. I did not know that.
I mean, well, if you look at AEW, it makes sense because Shad Khan is part owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's young. So, I mean, hey, people diverse in their portfolios around here. But hey, it works.
Okay, guys, we have to go back to pay-per-view. Let's talk about the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
we're way off topic.
Pay-per-view. Yeah.
So we could just keep going down the card.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, the opening match, the kickoff, Big E was made to look like a star, but it was actually the low point of the pay-per-view for me. It's like, why did you do this? Why did you do this to these people? Like you said, they're all main eventers. What are you doing to them?
Yeah. Okay. And I think another person that I'm kind of like, they should be used more to their potential is Chad Gable. I remember watching him on NXT, and he, even though he was in a tag team with Jason Jordan, like he really was like the one who really stood out to me. And I was just like, yeah, he has that potential to be pushed as a singles competitor. So, at least in my view, he has that potential.
He's definitely a mini Kurt Angle. I kind of miss him seeing with Jason Jordan, because we kind of haven't had a all-American tag team in like 15 years with that background.
The
world's greatest tag team,
something like that. I think
world's greatest tag team. Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, who was also on the card for TLC. Ironically enough,
Alpha was supposed to be. I think they were supposed to be like 2.0, but Chad Gable has been the odd man out ever since Jason Jordan got hurt. Like that man, Jason Jordan got hurt. It was like, we don't know what to do with Chad Gable. Okay, well, let's make him a joke character. Let's shorten his name to Shorty G, make fun of him, let him get beat up, send him off to the abyss, bring him back, and now we're gonna stick him with Otis and try to keep Otis from doing Otis.
Yeah, makes no sense. The logic, right?
Oh, what a disappointment! And what a disappointment Otis is being on his Otis. I can't really get behind him. I'm sorry.
I can't
Powerhouse guy. But the way he won Money in the Bank, and then this storyline with Law and Order.
It was no point in him even winning the contract if they weren't going to do anything with him.
And then to have Tucker cost him the contract, like really? And he's a joke now. He hasn't been seen.
I haven't even seen on television since that.
Exactly. Unless he's doing the 24/7 thing.
They broke up Heavy Machinery because of it was a knee-jerk reaction by Vince. It was the ratings weren't where they wanted to be, so they broke up a lot of the tag teams that were going. Heavy Machinery, the original plan for Money in the Bank was supposed to be they were going to use the contract, but on a tag title shot and not a title shot. So when they broke them up, they had to figure out what to do with this Money in the Bank because the Otis Mandy storyline was working. It had Money in the Bank tied into it. Now you've sent Mandy to Raw. Otis is on SmackDown. What do? Okay, well, we'll break up Heavy Machinery. We'll send Tucker to Raw. That was dumb.
Makes
but we need
sense.
to put Money in the Bank on somebody where if he loses Money in the Bank, it won't hurt his character stock. We could do it with the Miz. He just had a new kid.
Logical choice.
Miz is logical choice because he just had a new baby.
Yeah.
So he can lose Money in the Bank. So now he doesn't have to be on TV as much. He's with John Morrison. John Morrison is doing most of the heavy lifting if no one's noticed. And
yeah, that's another person who needs to be like singles and on their own. Like the Miz and the John Morrison reunion, it was good for what it was, but now it's kind of like fizzled out at this point.
Yeah, because now
I feel like it's time for a separation.
Right, because that was the matchup. It was the M&M versus Heavy Machinery. Miz and Morrison is no longer needed because y'all broke up Heavy Machinery. So what do y'all? What's the next? What's creative gonna do next? Where are we supposed to go with this?
There's a lot of like what you explained is just like a lot of creative loopholes, and you can easily tell in like the storylines and the way matches are being booked and the way segments are being booked. It just seems like a lot of things are just like rushed and like thrown together.
Yeah.
There was a time this year I didn't watch any of the weekly shows, and I could still look at the pay-per-view card and tell you who's gonna win and how are they gonna win. And it was just like, this is bad.
Me too.
This is very bad. I ain't watched Raw in 3 months, and I can still tell you who's the champ, why he's the champ, and how they booked it.
Same here, and that is a major problem.
Jokes out, man. Stop this.
Okay.
But I guess the first actual match on the card was the TLC match with Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles. I had to remember that man's name.
AJ Styles, and then the Miz cashed in and turned into a three-way.
Yeah, and blew it up. Terrible decision by Miz to try and cash in. Should have waited.
He should have waited, but because I watch wrestling, well, WWE, I watch it to analyze and not to enjoy anymore. I watch the wrestling I watch to enjoy is New Japan and AEW. I seen it coming. So I seen it coming because it's like we get to continue to keep AJ Styles in the title picture. He stays strong. His bodyguard stays strong looking, and Drew McIntyre still looks like a powerhouse who beat Brock Lesnar. He's the one who beat Brock Lesnar, so we gotta make him strong. We can't just be like, oh yeah, he lost to AJ Styles. You mean the guy that Brock tossed around like a rag doll?
It makes no sense.
I remembers these things. Like I literally watched Brock toss this dude around, and now you're saying the guy who beat Brock can't handle him. So this is
very true.
You think that wrestling fans don't have the memory to remember that happened? Okay. All right. We'll talk about that more later on in the card, but yeah, we didn't remember these things.
So is that like the match that's currently what we're on the card, Derek?
That was the first.
Yeah,
match.
that's the first one. It's the ladder match TLC, and Miz comes in middle of the match, and that was the very first match. I didn't expect that to be the first match.
Me either. And that was another thing. I was just a little like confused and conflicted on what was going to be the main event.
I had a feeling what the main event was gonna be, but I was hoping that it wasn't. I was hoping Roman and and Kevin Owens would be the main event.
That's why I
Been a
initially
great way
thought
to
too.
show. But when they didn't close the show, which we'll get into later, I already knew what was going to happen, and I knew how it was going to happen, and it wasn't going to be pretty. And boy, creative didn't let me down. They did just exactly what I thought they were going to do. Idiot. God, I swear I could write these shows better than them. This is okay. But yeah, middle of the match, Miz ran in, Drew was down. AJ was like put through a table or something, so everybody was all down. Miz came in, he was gonna try to cash in.
Yep, he was put down through a table.
And AJ's bodyguard, it was like, oh, well, this is what we doing. Let me step my big behind over these ropes in. Long story short, Miz lost too. And the winner, and still Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, his bodyguard. I gotta understand him a little bit better. I follow him on IG, and I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, he's a basketball player or former basketball player.
He was a basketball player before he signed with the company. Yeah.
He still feels a little. He still feels a little green. He looked like he was kind of afraid to get in the ring. He didn't look like he knew what he was doing. He was stepping over that rope. He was just like, please don't let me fall.
It was just awkward. And I honestly cringed when I saw that part.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, please. Oh, I made it. Oh.
Yeah.
Like, in a live crowd, it would have been like, oh. Yeah, because that would have been a live crowd. He'd have been getting clowned the entire time. So, it would have just been.
Yeah.
Derek, what was the next match, man?
Next match was Sasha and Carmella for the women's championship.
Okay, this I think I actually enjoyed this match. It was a match in the night for me, but I actually enjoyed it. I felt like their chemistry was there in terms of, there was a lot of reversals, the storytelling was there, and that's what I pretty much liked about it. And I was just very relieved that Sasha retained, because we already know about the history of her title reigns and how it's been like a subject of a lot of issues with the fans. And I agree, a lot of her reigns never really, hate to be morbid when I say this, especially on the main roster, never really surpassed like 2 or 3 months. So I'm just really hoping that this reign changes that. And with that kind of showing that they put on at the pay-per-view, I think that will kind of put things in perspective, let Sasha have a longer reign. And I think with with the different women on the SmackDown roster that could potentially be contenders, one that comes to my mind right now is Bianca Belair. That's like a obvious for me. And the other women on the SmackDown roster, I just feel like Sasha's reign needs to be longer. If she needs to have more storylines with other women, and I think that match with Carmella, that pretty much laid down the foundation for her reign. But even before the pay-per-view, I enjoyed Sasha and Carmella's feud. It just seemed very natural. They played off of each other's promos and personas naturally. And like Carmella, she's like the untouchable one, but Sasha, she's the boss. So there's kind of like those similarities. Like they both present themselves arrogantly, and that really played out in their segments and their promos. So I was really happy that Sasha retained. I was really looking forward to her retaining. So I'm happy about that.
I'm hoping Sasha retaining establishes an actual strong title run for her, because I think before this title reign, she never actually had a successful title defense. Like every time
and that was kind of like my concern too.
So I'm hoping that this is the establishment of something good. Carmella and Sasha told a good story in the ring, and then Reginald the sommelier getting in there, that it was hit or miss. But I think to me, it wasn't needed, but hey, what can you do? And because I know more about behind the curtain, listening to Corey Graves try to keep himself under control when announcing Carmella's matches, and then I guess when Reginald caught Carmella, you could hear his voice change a little bit, like he was slick, perturbed, just a touch. He's like, "Hey man, get your hands off my woman!"
Yeah, I forgot the aspect of the
I thought the
relationship
only one
between
that
the two
knows.
of them.
I was like, dude,
It's like, bro,
it's
focus.
TV.
You at work. you at work. This ain't real. You know that, right? She ain't gonna kiss him. Promise. I promise. I promise. It's okay.
It was so funny.
I'm just like, am I the only one laughing, yelling at my TV, telling him just chill out? Oh, it's just me. Oh, okay.
I know. I was like, dude, you need to chill. Like, take a chill pill. Okay.
Like, I noticed how the excitement he used to get for the other women, now he truly only ever really gets that way with Carmella of recent. Like,
yeah, I remember when he used to get like excited over Mandy Rose when she was on SmackDown. Yeah, that used to be
right.
Like
He
crazy.
was on modern day Jerry Lawler.
Well,
right.
Jerry Lawler,
it used to
Jerry
be that
Lawler
way.
was much worse, especially during acting. Much worse.
Jerry Lawler didn't care if the woman was heel or face. She didn't care as long as she had puppies.
There it is.
That's all you care about.
Jerry Lawler got WWE sued a few times about that. Bro, calm down.
Oh, you know he did.
Exactly.
Calm down. I understand that understand that you're a raunchy old man. I'm working up into getting to that age, but chill out, bro. It's okay. It is okay. You don't have to do that at your job. You can do that not at your job. I didn't this time.
What's the next match on the card, Derek?
Next match on the card.
The next match. Well, I got the card as it was before they added the Raw Tag Team Championship. I'm assuming that the Tag Team Championship match was an add-on.
That was the actual
between the Hurt Business.
That's the way they treat their tag team division, anyways. So I'm surprised.
Yeah. I mean, it was actually a good match. It was back and forth. I honestly was going. I was reading it as New Day was going to retain, but in a surprise twist, the Hurt Business are the new tag team champions.
Yeah, and that's another thing. If anything that I paid attention to whenever I watched Raw in 2020 is the Hurt Business, and just like seeing how they were able to develop over time. I was a little concerned at first, like how seriously they were going to be taken, but they're holding some gold now, and they're really becoming a force to be reckoned with.
Right. It establishes the entire Hurt Business now because Bobby had his belt. Now the Hurt Business has the tag titles. So now the only one not with a belt in the Hurt Business is MVP, but he's their mouth. He doesn't need a title.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
An old school faction that has all the straps, like when they had what faction was that had all the time?
The Horsemen had it. Evolutions had it.
The Evolution.
The Heart did it. Evolution did it. DX when they were bigger than two people did it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you call them DX anymore. Just call them Sean and Hunter. I mean, geez, call them Boy Meets World for all I care. But yeah, they did. I'm for real. It's D-Generation X. You mean Sean and Hunter?
Nah, Triple H Outlaws.
Right, but yeah, the Power Trip did it when they were the Intercontinental title, this strap, and they had the tag titles. Dude, they were two men, but they were technically a faction too. They had 4 belts.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're solidifying the Hurt Business, and you're actually getting the New Day rub onto the Hurt Business, so that makes them more of a legitimate threat, to where the rub that the Street Profits got for that win that they had in that last pay-per-view, it died immediately. Like
Survivor Series. And I'll give you that was a good match. Survivor Series, New Day,
that was
and Street Profits.
Felt like a passing of torch.
I enjoyed that.
Supposed to be, but it did pass. I mean, there's no tag team on SmackDown that is credible to me that says it's going to make the Street Profits go full NXT Street Profits. I haven't seen them.
You don't think Glorious Show might have a legit shot?
No. There is no tag team on SmackDown that is going to actually challenge the Street Profits. Let's be real.
Yeah, and really what it comes down to is
they don't care about the tag division at all.
And it just the lack thereof. And even further down the card, talking about the women's tag team division, they broke up two tag teams and then just randomly threw people together. And I'm just like, what for? What's the point? And that's the same thing with the men's tag team division. It's just been more prevalent in the men's tag team division because it's been around longer.
Right, but you broke up one of the most established women tag team just to then put them in another tag team on different shows.
Yeah. Makes absolutely no sense.
Why? Why? When I could have just we'll talk about it.
Get on down the card. But yeah, I'm happy that the Hurt Business won the tag straps. Kind of just increases their credibility as a tag team. I think as for the New Day, I feel like they should take time off winning straps. Because I think how many tag titles they won at this point? Like 10 as a team?
I believe
they won 8 or 9, something like that.
It has to be 9 or 10 up there.
Big E doesn't do their entrance anymore, so I don't have an accurate count because he used to, he used to actually tell you when they came out how many time tag team champs they were. So I lost. I believe they do take a break.
I really believe it's up there, like around 9 or 10. But I feel like
I believe they're going to break anyway. I think Kofi had 2 of his fronts knocked out, and he had to get them replaced. And Xavier is actually a G4 host now. Creed 4 G4.
He actually did get his couple of his teeth knocked out. He posted a picture on Instagram. So
I actually saw that picture.
So but if the New Day don't win a couple more championships, do you think it's time that Xavier gets a shot at some singles gold? Because he hasn't really done much in the WWE as a singles competitor.
I can see him as a good intercontinental title holder. I wouldn't try to put him on the U.S. title picture right now because Bobby Lashley has that, and I wouldn't want to see them feed Xavier to Bobby because we already know what's
absolutely not.
Vince loves seeing sweaty men do things that. Wow! Ooh, you're small. He's big. Big sweaty men win.
Well, speaking of, he done put on some muscle since he done came back from his Achilles injury, though.
I mean, when you ain't got nothing but time to work out and get yourself as a host of G4, no day, the party. Let me stop.
All right, let's go to the next match. What's the next match on the card, Derek?
That next match now that we added up is we've gone over scholarship. We've got the Raw Tag Team Championship. Now I think the next match was Asuka finding a mystery partner now against Shayna and Nia.
Yeah,
it was so obvious.
The women's tag.
Was it really?
It was to me.
I did not expect
Charlotte
to return.
It was so completely obvious.
It was so obvious.
When they removed Lana out the picture, I was like, yeah.
They're trying to get her way out of there now. So.
Way too much on this. They post way too much on Instagram and Twitter. All you gotta do is they subtweet each other all the time and talking. It's just like watch Charlotte come back. Because they had made a sly comment on commentary earlier in the night. Ric Flair's in the building. Why is Rick here? For what?
That part I missed. That's a part that I missed.
That was a dead giveaway for me.
like, why are you telling me Ric Flair's Charlotte?
We already do.
Because Pop is
Oh,
always
yeah.
there when his little girl gets another belt. He's been there for every one of her title matches.
That is true. Very true.
And now you're telling me, you're literally on commentary telling me Ric Flair's here? And Asuka needs a partner. There's no other women's title in women's matches tonight. I wonder what he's there for. I don't know. Let me call Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte. Yeah. What's Ric Flair there for? Oh, Charlotte's coming back. For real? Oh, okay. And look, Asuka's mystery partner is
Charlotte Flair.
Oh, she didn't show any ring rust for 6 months. I'll say that much.
I mean, she is dating Andrade. She better not be showing ring rust. She's got one of the best technical wrestlers.
Exactly.
Dad and as a boyfriend. What in the world? You better learn how to.
Speaking of that, do you think he'll be? I think he said that he wants her to manage his career down the road at some point.
Yeah,
I think it'll happen.
You think that'll be a good fit?
I don't know about that. You know,
if they can pull off a Triple H Stephanie McMahon kind of thing,
possibly. Yeah.
If not, if they try to put her in the Zelina Vega role, hell no.
No.
Oh no. Can't do that. No. Can't do that.
No.
Yeah.
There's only one Zelina Vega, and I was still disgusted on the way she got fired. That was some bull. But
bunch of bull. That's a whole nother video.
Alistair Black is furious about that. I'm sure he won't release anytime soon.
Yeah. But in regards to the tag team match,
he's the man to go back to NXT, and they didn't let him go. So the match was middle of the road for me. I didn't actually enjoy it as much as I thought. You can see the chemistry was off between Nia and Charlotte. It's like they have some kind of underlying beef or something. But the chemistry.
It may have something to do with like their past matches, but I don't want to make assumptions. But that may have something to do with it.
A lot of people in the women locker room say she's unsafe to work with.
But then there's a lot of wrestlers in the locker room who say she's actually very safe, and that it's just a stigma because things happened in her matches. Most of them that don't actually like Nia don't like her because she's The Rock's cousin, and they feel like she's getting her pushes because of family ties.
Yeah.
I mean, but hey,
of course, The Rock is in everybody's pocket because you're part of the Samoan family.
But who knows? Right. I mean, but hey, it's not like Charlotte isn't the daughter of the 2-time Hall of Famer. That ain't why she's getting pushes, right? Right. It's not like Charlotte was getting a push in NXT because her brother died. Oh, no, that's not because she's naturally better than everyone. So explain what y'all do with Bailey and Mercedes, aka Sasha and Emma. You guys remember Emma?
I do.
Yeah, she's also, speaking of Emma, she is also in Impact Wrestling as well.
Yeah, she wrestles under her real name.
Yeah.
And Emma and Bailey actually truly started the women's movement, and it was in NXT. And they put on it was Emma and
Paige.
Yeah, Emma and Paige. And they put on a knockdown, drag out match that was amazing.
That's still one of my favorites.
They swear Stephanie McMahon started the women's. No, the hell she did not.
Who said that?
Emma and Paige stuff. Social media because Stephanie came raw and did that stupid promo talking about we're gonna revolutionize women's wrestling in WWE, blah blah blah, and then y'all did the same thing y'all been doing. Let's put them in tight clothing and parade them out there and tell them, hey, show some boobs. They'll love it. Oh, we're gonna give you a new belt. We're gonna remake the belt. We're gonna get rid of the butterfly. Give you 2 actual straps that no one cares about. They look better than the men's titles because they're white instead of black and blue, whatever show you're on. And we're going to give you tag titles, but we're going to treat them like yo-yos and just toss them around from person to person and team to team and destroy your tag division. Because the Iconics, remember them?
Yeah.
They broke them up for what?
Absolutely.
And they really didn't get a title. They didn't really get a chance to get the titles. A title match, no title shot. So yeah, that's
to
kind
me,
of
they were
bizarre.
the perfect champions. They were the perfect heel champions, because I get it. Y'all wanted Sasha and Bailey to be the champs because, Bailey, the hugger, everybody loves Bailey. Sasha, Snoop Dogg's cousin, she's the boss, of course. Give them the belts. But the Iconics were the perfect heel champions. Everyone hated hearing them talk because they screamed. They screamed. They did their poses, and they had heel matches the way they won. They cheated to win. They made you hate them, so they were doing their job as heels. They would have been perfect for the straps, but no, not Vince. Yeah. Let's break them up because she's blonde. I think it's gonna be amazing.
Okay, so my main concern is like the outcome, like after the fact, because Asuka's a double champion now, and
Asuka 2 belts, yeah,
and then Charlotte.
What's gonna end up happening is they're gonna end up having Charlotte turn on Asuka eventually, because Asuka carried the women's division during the pandemic. Let's be real. She was the women's division. They're gonna, because Charlotte does her best work as a heel. They're gonna have Charlotte turn heel to go after the main strap, which is going to end up costing them the tag titles. And it's going to be
that is predictable.
And that was another thing.
Some teams get through together because they don't have any established teams, because the only established team they got right now, the one that just lost, literally made fun of breaking the other teams. Mandy, they snapped her leg. They snapped Lana's leg after putting her through a table 9 weeks in a row.
That irked me. That drove me insane. Because it's like, what was the point of all that? What was the point?
They literally put this woman through the announce table for 2 months and 1 week.
Punishing her for letting Rusev walk out the door. I'm sorry, Morrow.
No,
he goes about Morrow now.
And the fact of the matter is, they were never going to renew Miro's contract. Miro's contract, because Vince didn't see the credibility in him, because Vince felt like his highlight was the Tank at WrestleMania. Yeah,
and you can tell that his career was spiraling down, especially with the Bobby Lashley and Lana storyline, and
that was all the
Jerry Springer's storyline for 29.
Yeah, and then with Liv Morgan like being inserted to him, then they took her out for whatever reason.
The
lesbian angle, which I think they said they're trying to do that.
The Riot Squad
Something's
to put them back together
to go down, and then Miro got released. I was just like, I was not even shocked when it happened, because I felt it was going to happen eventually.
And come to find out, they released him because of the Rusev Day chance, because he did the same thing that Zack Ryder did. He got over organically on his own, and Vince didn't want him to be a face. He wanted him to be a heel. But because the fans loved him, Vince hated him.
But still got the profit off of him, though. Merchandising, some everything.
Of course.
Yeah.
He loved that part.
Yeah, that's crazy. You love that part, but you won't put the big boy strap on him, Universal or WWE Championship. You won't let him win a Rumble or Money in the Bank. That's insane. Your biggest match was with John Cena in your whole tenure.
And the screwed up part was he would show flashes in every match of being great. They put him in shitty positions, and he showed greatness. And then they're wondering, why is this man still over? Because fans aren't dumb like they used to.
Yeah, fans gravitate to that kind of stuff.
Right. Kayfabe doesn't exist anymore because we get to see behind the curtain. You gave us social media. You gave all your big name superstars Twitter accounts. You gave them Instagram accounts. You let us see what they do on a regular basis.
Yeah, all these TV shows they got on E Network and USA and the Bellas. Good Lord.
like you literally, if depending on what it is on Twitter, you can literally see a post where a wrestler will be speaking out about something, and instead of another wrestler staying in character, who's staying a heel, they'll talk to them as their actual friend from their superstar wrestler account. It's like, why don't you have a personal account that you could talk to them as their friend? Nope. You got Stone Cold talking to The Rock on Twitter, face and heel. Oh, hey, bro, you want to go get a beer after the? Sure.
Yeah, kayfabe has officially died.
It's been dead for several years now.
Smart. Kayfabe died with Daniel Bryan. He was the final straw of it. Like, Vince was refusing to push him, and they was like, "Nah, but we've known Daniel Bryan since Ring of Honor. This dude can go better than anybody else you got."
And then the Yes movement.
Y'all gonna put the crap on them.
And then the Yes movement, just like that was it.
Yep, the 17 seconds.
Over the moon.
That was it.
Okay, so what's the next match on the card?
The next match, of course, is the TLC Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns.
Yep, best match of the night.
That was match of the night. I enjoyed it.
The head of the table.
Hey, you know what? For all the interference, Jey Uso, I got to give him credit.
He's really been playing the role. The character development on his part has really paid off. Like, I really enjoyed it. The whole storyline to me has been the most intriguing the past couple months.
If they do the storyline right and they run the bloodline the way that they should, storyline's gonna be amazing. The head of the table.
But of course, correct me if I'm wrong, we're waiting on Jimmy to come back from ACL surgery, rehab or something like that. And
word is,
I got to say, I didn't think we were going to get this faction together, solely because I never expected Roman to be rolling with Paul Heyman.
They were, and it's just with that alone, I think the unit that they created, like the chemistry is there, and they work so well together. I just wish that it didn't take so long for Roman to turn heel, because people for many years was just like, turn him heel, turn him heel, turn him heel. And then when he turns heel, it's like it's been some of his best character work. So it's gonna be honest.
They were refusing to turn Roman heel because of the leukemia. So they could profit off of that. The kids love Roman, and let's be real, the women love Roman too. That slick long hair, they love that shit. Come on. So they weren't going to turn Roman. They weren't going to turn Roman heel. And then, like, Roman always had good chemistry with Paul Heyman, even when Paul was with Brock.
Yeah, and I could tell that too.
When Vince removed Paul from creative control of Raw, it was Roman who said, "Well, put Paul with me. He can be my mouthpiece, and it'd benefit everybody." Because Roman is the lead, it worked. It worked.
And if Paul Heyman is not in the Hall of Fame class by now, he should be. You've worked with RVD, you've worked with Taz, and countless others.
He may or may not get Hall of Fame. It just depends on how petty Vince wants to be at the end of the day.
It really does. But I think going off of like Paul Heyman, he's probably, if not one of the greatest talkers in history, in my opinion, wrestling history, in my opinion. And just the mic work that Paul was laying down when he and Roman's alliance first started, that's what intrigued me even more, like Paul being his mouthpiece, but also Roman's like mic skills, and just like the way he like emphasized on being the head of the table, the tribal chief, and it's like the emotion,
his mannerisms
the mannerisms are there, and just like his smooth voice, his voice is smooth and low, and it takes me back to when he and Kevin Owens was going at it backstage. It was like right before TLC. And he talked in like this smooth voice. It reminded me a bit of a Jake the Snake Roberts in the way he would cut his promo. Right. Just like low, deep, conniving, smooth. very calculative. That's like kind of the vibe that I got off of him.
Cold-blooded, cold-hearted, and it being somebody who grew up in that era, it kind of puts a chill down your spine. It's like, if he's this mad and talking in this tone, what happens when he's really getting ready to smash me with something and he actually starts yelling? You know what? Let me not piss this dude off anymore.
Yeah, and it just made Roman look very strong.
Right. And
even stronger than WWE was trying to make him when he was a face. Like, you could tell now he's like really stepped into.
It seems like it's natural to him. He's actually being able to just have fun. I didn't like what they were doing with him before. I mean, I've always been a Roman fan. Everybody knows that, but I didn't like his direction. And then this thing with Jay, when it first started, it made Jay a main eventer. Like, their matches were actual strong matches. So when
that's what shocked me the most.
Who would have thought he would have got a shot in the main event picture? Jay always been a tag team dude. Can he run on his own? It's always been a big question of mine.
And then if you catch the wordplay during those promos, the wordplay matches what they've said. I'm putting food on your table. I'm the head of the table, but I'm feeding you and your family too, because I made you a main eventer. You were just in a tag division before your feud with me. You're main eventing SmackDown. Now you're on pay-per-views in the ring with me. And all you had to do was just do with this. But since you didn't, now I have to unleash the sixth gate of hell and beat the crap out of you. When all you had to do was just allow me to be the head of the table and accept me as your tribal chief, like your grandfather, like your great grandfather and your uncle when they came out on stage. When they crowned me, you should have accepted that role. Because I have a feeling when Jimmy comes back, Jimmy is going to end up accepting his role in the faction, and then they're just going to run roughshod all over SmackDown. And it's gonna be great to see.
Yeah, and just like when Jimmy returns, it's just like going back to that tag team, picture. That can add more of a, that can add a different element to the storyline.
It'll revitalize it.
Because the Usos, in my opinion, over the past decade, probably one of the more successful tag teams that WWE has had, and just seeing how they even evolved on their own as a tag team over the years.
That last decade, I'll say this: tag team is Usos and New Day for the last decade, and it don't come close.
Then it's like others way below them. Like,
it don't come close.
It was.
But I would love to see the Usos against the Prophets, when Jimmy comes back.
I feel like
bloodline together.
That match is gonna be insane.
After they fully integrated, though, that would be the matchup that pushes the Street Profits. Other than that, it's not gonna work. Jimmy has to fully integrate into the bloodline and get where he needs to, and then Roman can set them out to go get the rest of the gold for the family. But the match Sunday between Roman and Kevin Owens was everything that we needed it to be, because it showed you that Roman can be a caring one. Like, he saw his cousin, get hurt. He saw Kevin Owens hit him in the ankle with the chair, and it's just like, okay, since you want to hurt family, I'm the only one who can hurt my family. So now I have to teach you a lesson. And it was just like, I'm teaching you this lesson. Have you learned this lesson? You haven't learned this lesson. I'm gonna keep asking you, have you learned this lesson, until you've learned this lesson. I'm beating you. I am literally hurting you badly. Do you quit yet? You want more? Okay, well, I'll give you some more. I'm trying to keep you from having to break you. I'm trying to be a generous chief. You're not letting me be generous. Well, fine, then I will show you be sadistic. That spear through the table and that attempted spear through the barricade, both of those look like they hurt badly.
Oh, they do. There's no give. There's no give.
Because I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was about that spear through the table, but it wasn't a spear. It was a form football tackle. He literally picked him up by his legs and drove him. It was like, oh, did he forget he's not at Georgia Tech?
No, he went back to his days at Georgia Tech, man.
Yeah, that was an actual hit. What is he doing? He didn't leave the ground or nothing. He just drove him. I'm like, oh, okay. Alrighty then. And then when he took out that barricade, he flew through the air like Superman there for a second. I'm like, uh-oh. Kevin, please move, Kevin. Please move. He's gonna kill you for real. Please move. Okay, he moved. But that means Jay's gonna come back and this match is gonna be over. And there it was. Jay came back, match is over. Yay. I thought it was gonna end with Jay climbing the belt and getting the title and handing it to Roman, which would have been a better ending to me. But
yeah, it was the storytelling for me, especially when they were
and
yeah. It was, and going back to that ladder spot, it's like I kind of already knew that Roman was going to retain, but just like seeing Kevin Owens like narrowly like grasping the belt, and like that made me pop for a little bit because I'm like, is he really going to win the straps? But obviously,
right.
You know, and then Jay came in and kind of like became the equalizer, you know what?
Right. That final spot with the guillotine on the ladder, it kind of showed me that they have an actual idea of how sadistic they want Roman to be, because the way he just let him drop and he just watched him hit the ground like, stay where you belong. And then he just slowly grabbed the belt like, this belongs to me. No one else touch or I will hurt you. And I was like, oh, he is fully enjoying this heel work right now. But yeah, Jay
Are you guys impressed with the new move set that Roman's been showing lately since he's come back at SummerSlam?
I feel like he's always had those moves locked in. He's just now like using them. And that was another thing I had an issue with when he was like still being pushed as this mega baby face. That moveset wise, he wasn't really allowed to be utilized to his full potential.
They John Cena'd him because in NXT he actually had a moveset. He actually had a lot of charisma. He was a heel, but he had a lot of charisma. He could talk, he could move. He had more than 4 moves, but when WWE decided he was going to be the mega face, they John Cena'd him. They gave him 4 moves, said deal with it. You got a Samoan drop, a spear, a Superman punch, and
drive-by.
That drive-by drop kick.
Drive-by. Yeah, that's it. But Jay was actually the star of the night for me. Jay's character work.
Kept interfering and kept doing this thing.
From selling the ankle to then selling the beating that Kevin Owens put on him, to still find a way to just like, I'm just going to distract you just long enough for, okay, Big Cuz got you. Now I'm going to go take a nap over here because I'm actually hurting a little bit. And when they did the celebratory pan, when they did that, do the final shot with the champ and everything, it was just like Jay stood out the most. Like, Roman has the belt. It's his time, but this is Jay's moment. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, I feel like Jay.
Paul Heyman is Paul Heyman. We ain't worried about him, but Jay was.
I feel like Jay was has been like the hidden gem of like this whole storyline, because you can really tell that the character development, it just came naturally to him, and that would definitely show during that match. Yeah, I really truly enjoyed it. That's why I'm really interested to see once Jimmy returns, like how's that dynamic gonna change?
Because when this whole angle started, I was concerned. I was like, Jimmy, can you really handle being on your own? And then once he lost a couple times during his 2 title matches, he was conflicted in wanting to submit to the head of the table. And he's like, man, I ain't taking this no more. I get it. being on your own, being mad.
And that's what I'm interested in as well. When Jimmy comes back, how are they gonna do that? Because remember, Jimmy told Jay, "Don't do it. Don't worry about me, but stay away from Roman. Leave him be. You let him go through whatever he needs to go through. Don't join him." And he joined him. So how's that gonna work? Are they gonna convince Jimmy to join? Are they gonna have to beat him? They're gonna have to beat submission into him like they beat submission into Jay. How's this gonna work?
It might. I'll give a guess on that, Dex. It might be like how Ricochet is getting dogged out right now by Retribution.
Mm-hmm. Like you can't beat him.
Countless beatings, countless checks. Like, come on, bro. Just give into this already.
And see, I'm wondering, are they gonna do that? And they're gonna have, and Roman's gonna task Jay to beat Jimmy into submission until they join. And then when he joins up, they finally put the tag straps on him to say, "See, my way works. You're sitting at my table and I'm feeding you like I said I would." Mm-hmm. That's good storytelling, but I don't trust WWE to do it. So
yeah,
they'll probably just say, "Okay, Jimmy's back. The Usos are back. Yay!"
There's also one other factor I forgot about. Does this mean Naomi joins the bloodline?
Well, Naomi's on Raw, first off.
No. So that's a hard no. They might throw Tamina in there, but
that's what I meant for me. Does she join?
I don't see that either, but that could be a possibility. A slight possibility.
Yeah, but I don't see them adding anyone else at the moment. It's just they don't seem to truly care enough to take care of anybody. But creative doesn't do long-term storytelling. Like, let's be real, like a New Japan or an AEW or an Impact. It's just WWE is like, okay, we told the story this week. What are we doing next week? I don't know.
Microwave, as they call it.
It's a lot of loopholes. This was rushed.
But the match itself was a clean match. It had the bumps, it had the ups and downs. Kevin Owens had the advantage at one point, and then Roman decided to turn on the Roman, and it was just like, oh, alrighty then. You were beating up on Jay, and Roman hit you with a drive-by and then knocked you for a loop, and that was it. Well, note to self: don't let Roman Reigns kick me in the head. Things don't turn out well.
Yeah.
Yeesh. But Roman retained. It was the right decision. But it did make Kevin Owens look good. But Roman retained, and then we ended the match. We ended the night with something that I'm not even sure if it was a match or what it was. But
yeah, but let's dive in.
The Firefight House.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, the Firehouse Inferno match.
That was the main event. And if I can say off the bat, I know you remember this, Dex, the Inferno matches that they did back in 98 and 99 with Kane and Taker.
Right.
And then a few years ago.
The difference with those were they actually had a ref and the bell rung when someone got caught on fire.
Right.
The bell didn't ring when Bray got caught on fire. It just Bray was on fire. Bray was on fire at the end of the match, and I'm just like, okay, so where's the bell?
That's what I was like confused about. I was like, so did Randy win? Like, what was?
Randy won. He won.
Well, maybe that was the case. I just felt like there should have been a bell or some signal, showing like, okay, Randy won. Because I was a little confused.
Right. Like, what kind of rules were there? What was going on?
I saw something. There was no disqualification with it, obviously.
Yeah, and then the fire, the Inferno wasn't even introduced right at the beginning of the match. So it was like that cinematic feel when the Fiend kind of ushered in the fire. That I understood. I was like, oh,
when Bray introduced the fire, I was like, okay, they pre-recorded this.
Yeah, they had.
Yeah, I actually read that actually pre-recorded it.
When Bray ushered the fire, I was like, oh, okay, I see exactly how this is about to happen. And here we go. Oh look, Bray's gonna be winning, and then Randy's gonna pull a Randy, and then yep, there it is, and then they're gonna have Randy go to that dark place, aren't they? Yep.
But I gotta admit, the visuals they did with the Thunderdome, impressive.
Yeah, the visuals. I mean, that's about all they can do in the Thunderdome or Tropicana Field. For those wondering where it actually is, it's Tropicana Field. It's
Tampa Bay,
Florida. Yeah, it's in Tampa Bay. They moved from one stadium and they moved from Orlando to Tampa Bay because Orlando put them out.
the NBA's back.
Center. Yeah, the NBA is back for one, but because WWE had like multiple COVID outbreaks at Amway Center, the actual owners of the lease put them out. They weren't going to renew. They said y'all had to go because y'all not doing what y'all supposed to. Yeah. Long story behind all that, but the match itself was, for lack of better words, trash.
Yeah,
it was trash.
Wow,
it was underwhelming for me.
It was trash. To me, it was trash.
I'm stunned to hear that because
I agree. It was underwhelming.
To me, every spot was predictable. It's
underwhelming.
Like,
okay, so
it was like,
the two matches that we've had with Randy and Bray. This one being this past Sunday, and a few years ago, where they did the, I guess, Abigail warehouse. Well, his little sister Abigail,
the compound,
family.
What have you?
The Wyatt
compound. Which
compound.
one was better? Wyatt compound.
Yeah. Because at least it was an environmental type match to where it felt like you were playing WWE. SmackDown versus Raw from way back in the day, when you can go all around the arena and involve locker room. Because last night was, Sunday. Sorry, it was trash. It was predictable. Every spot was. It was just like Randy's gonna make fun of. Bray's gonna make fun of his past. Check. He's going to come out looking like the monster that he used to be. He's gonna no-sell everything. Check. Then all of a sudden, everything affects him. Check. Oh, look, you did this. I'm gonna laugh it off. Check. Remember when Bray used to have the red light when he was the Fiend? That's when these matches were good. That's when they got rid of the red light, it was like all the aura disappeared. It's like,
I didn't even think that character. I didn't think he could come up with a character like that. That's kind of like I don't even know how to compare it, but Mankind met somebody and
Mankind
and Undertaker had a offspring. That's kind of what it was supposed to be. But it's like they set the rocking chair on fire, and it's just like, come on, dude.
I'm going really? Princess Dark. Oh man.
This is bad. Like, what are you doing? Oh, and then like every couple of minutes, Bray would go get some fire and then lose it somehow. He'd miss, and it's just like, if Bray ain't hit you with fire by now, he's gonna lose.
And then of course we know a mannequin dummy dressed in attire ended up getting set on fire. So really, we all know.
Yeah, I already knew. Like that point, I was like, yeah, they pre-taped
that part. Pissed me off. That part pissed me off real bad. Like the ending of the match, you can tell Bray was no longer in the body. Like during the mandible claw, you could see like the transition happened from real person to not there. The body didn't flinch when the gas was poured on him. Really?
Of course, and everybody is still like, don't do it, Randy. Like, come on. Trying to.
I don't care how much you pour something on me. I'm going to at least move a little bit. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Nothing. And then if you look at the gloves, you can see that like there was a crease where the wrist was. It's like, come on, you didn't hit him in the wrist. You didn't break
he was out of it.
All right, and then the fire. It was just like, Randy, you're just staring like you're. So you pulled a Bubba Ray and you put him through the table, and now you've gone catatonic. You're just staring and look at the fire like, ooh, pretty. Come on,
I mean, he was hesitant to do it for Christ's sake, but he didn't. He showed. I think I get what you're saying is because that Monday, the Monday leading up to TLC, when they played hide and seek, they did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Bray gets caught. He gets put into a box, gets set on fire, and then after Blue, here comes the Fiend. Like,
right. And for me, I guess it's because we grew up with all the eras of wrestling, and we're actually adults. So for me, I guess if you're gonna do special effects, you got to do something to where the visuals match up. Because at least we could take it back to WrestleMania, the second night, the Boneyard match. Those special effects match what they were trying to do. Yeah. Those special effects told a story. The special effects from Sunday were bad.
It didn't match at all.
Like, and WWE has this horrible stigma of foretelling everything they're getting ready to do. Bray introduced the fire. In every special match in WWE history, whoever introduces something loses to what they introduced you to the match.
And it's because every time. I paid attention to the commentary too, where of course we know Randy was supposed to wear his traditional attire, but when he doesn't do that, he's wearing some
street clothes,
fireproof sweatsuit.
Yeah,
but RKO on, and I'm like, okay,
right. He had on a fireproof t-shirt type situation. His jeans were, you could tell they were fire treated. This come on. Randy came for war, bro. Come on. Come on. They told
I mean, okay, so I'll ask you this since you brought up WrestleMania. Was it night 1 or was it night 2? I think it was night 1. Were you more impressed with this, or were you impressed with Bray doing this thing with the Fiend at going against John Cena for, I guess, the last time at WrestleMania?
Cena's was much better for me.
Cena for a few reasons. One, Cena sold it better. The effects were the way they needed to be. And two, it actually had a lasting effect. We'll see Bray again. Of course we will. He's supernatural. We haven't seen John Cena back in the wrestling ring.
No.
That, and I mean, it was WrestleMania, and it kind of, it felt right. I mean, the way they did WrestleMania, they had to make do, but the way that match went, it wasn't this thrown together. We announced it at the very last second. We didn't tell you about the Firefly Funhouse match or whatever, this Infernal thing, until like I don't even think they announced it on Raw. They talked about it on social media.
They did. They didn't do it. They did it after the incident with the lock box and Bray getting set on fire with the box.
So they took a throwaway line and made it an actual match. But at least with John Cena, we knew what it was. They built up to it. This was just, there's a lock box. I wonder what they're gonna do with he set it on fire. Oh, Sunday's gonna be an Inferno match now.
Oh my God.
Why? I grew up with the Attitude Era. I grew up with Bret Hart, Stone Cold.
We both did. Well, yeah.
I came in way later.
but you watched that stuff. So why are you insulting my intelligence, Vince? Dude, you're about 80. Stop.
He hasn't recovered from the Montreal screw job. I just watched a YouTube video on that yesterday.
I watched a documentary about that too.
Vince panders to his own sense of humor and expects us to just buy into it. He still comes in on Mondays and Fridays and rewrites the show hours before the show because it's not his funny.
Triple H, you need to go ahead and take the reins, buddy. Stephanie and Shane will.
Triple H can't until Vince no longer is in control. Vince has to actually give up control. They can't just say, Trips take the reins. No, it has to be passed because
Vince has a stranglehold. Vince has a stranglehold on the control. Like he's not really willing to let go.
what,
That's
4
the
decades?
big
Right.
What, 4
reason.
decades of creative control, and it's getting worse and worse by the decade.
I mean, that's just stubbornness on Vince's
Vince
part.
remember the
And
board.
you don't even have to be the biggest wrestling fan to see that.
Yeah, Vince is the controlling member of the board. So he has his vote outweighs everyone's. He has the final say. Period. He outweighs his daughter, Triple H, all the stockholders. He outweighs everybody. So when
So
Vince
is
says,
that why? So is that
"We're
why
doing
we
that,"
have the issue of bad ratings and they're selling stock shareholdings?
Yep.
We got a lot of that going on because of the pandemic and a lot of layoffs because of the pandemic.
Yeah, but he's still
And
making
I'm like,
money.
okay,
and that's where all those
fans
knee-jerk
when the
reactions.
pandemic started, I actually lost interest. I'm like, can't have a show without some kind of crowd, some kind of something. I mean,
It's just,
Monday Night
it was
Football
just,
was more exciting than that.
it just felt out of place. It was very cringeworthy, I felt. Because, like,
It
for
still
lack
feels
of
out of
term.
place. But they're making it work.
Yeah, even with like the virtual aspect, it just feels so out of place.
Right. Because that wall of fans, however they do that, and the fans are
You have to
tuning
register
in,
for
it's just
that.
like,
Hmm.
right.
You got to
but
register for it. It is
if you
free.
right, but if you're like me and you pay attention to your surroundings, because you know my background with the military, I pay attention to my surroundings. I look at those screens sometimes. I take because you know half the time the match in the ring is boring. Let's be real. Vince is throwing together crap that is boring. So I'm watching these screens, and most of the people aren't watching. You'll have stuffed animals on behind the camera. You'll have dogs and
Yeah,
you know
that's
people
Like
the only
costume.
about.
backgrounds of like random celebrities and people, whatnot.
Yeah,
It's like
and that's the
Some
screwed up
people's
thing about it.
some
When
people's videos
they,
don't even be turned on. I noticed that too.
yeah,
right.
the crazy
And
part about it is
then you're just like,
once you sign up for it, they tell you can be replaced or you can be taken down at any given moment. So I mean, they're like,
right.
really 3
But
hours to
the thing,
sit there for a whole time, and then the commercials don't last that long. I mean,
right. And then
See, I don't even watch the 3-hour edition of Raw or SmackDown anymore. I watch it on Hulu the next day, and they
you
trim it down to
you
an hour and 30 minutes.
you
yeah,
smart.
that's been 2 hours, hour and a half. Yeah.
No, thank you. I'm not gonna do that.
I DVR it so I can just fast forward through. I'd be fast forwarding through matches like, oh, this is trash. Oh,
Yeah, I fast forward on Hulu too.
no. Oh, look, good match. That was 3 minutes. Never mind.
Okay, so
Good match. Long, so yeah, whatever.
I have a question for you guys. So, just the overall pay-per-view, rated out of 10, what would be your personal rating for the entire pay-per-view overall? And you have to
Because
tell
of
me
the
why.
Roman match, because of the Roman match, and Sasha the ladies title match, I give it a strong 4.
A 4.
Mediocre at best.
Okay.
And that's because the Roman and Kevin Owens carried that. They carried that. Other than Roman and Kevin Owens, that's a 2.
Jesus.
That is very low.
So you okay? So I'll say I agree with the TLC matches. Those were actually pretty good. Although, like I said, the failed Money in the Bank cash in kind of ruined one of them.
I mean, it was predictable as all hell.
Yeah. I'll say I'll go with the visuals of the Fire Funhouse. That was really good. And
yeah, the visual.
I guess I'll give it a 5 out of 10. So it's not an entire happy face, but we'll just go with this halfway 5 just cause. It ain't too bad, but it ain't great. So
you know, out of all the title belts, this is the Divas title. Right now, that's all this belt was. I mean, that's what this pay-per-view felt like when they were passing the Divas title from person to person.
let's just pray the Royal Rumble is a lot better.
We'll see.
What did you rate the pay-per-view out of 10?
Well, given like the strong like matches for me were Sasha versus Carmella, Roman versus Kevin, which I thought was match of the night. But given to like the predictability of some matches, especially like with the Miz cashing in, like I already knew that was gonna happen. And then the utterly obvious fact that Charlotte was gonna make her return. Though there are a lot of people still in denial thinking that she wasn't an obvious pick. She was. And then given the main event, well, I'll put in quotation marks, because it didn't seem like a main event to me because it was pre-taped. So I think I'm with Derek. I'll give it a 5 as well. And I'm using those points as my reasons.
Yeah, that makes sense because everything was predictable. Just about. The only thing they could have done that throw a curveball in there is no, they couldn't have done that either because Roman would have lost. Then that would have been the wrong decision because then what that whole storyline that you've been building. You can't do that. Charlotte was the only choice as Asuka's replacement because Asuka's actual tag team partner, Kairi Sane, is in Japan. She's no longer with WWE as an active wrestler. She's a consultant. So that wasn't gonna work. Miz had, I mean, that was his best opportunity to try to get one over on Drew McIntyre, and he ate a Claymore for his trouble.
I mean, he could have waited. Hold on, Dex. He could have got it last night during that 6-man street fight. He could have got it last night if he waited.
No, I think they were just trying to. I think they were trying to get rid of that.
But he didn't wait, and he got his butt kicked for it.
That's my point.
But at the same time, creative probably didn't know what the hell they were going to do last night anyway. Vince probably walked in and was like, all right, show me the script. I don't like it. Rewrite it. Vince, stop it. Stop, man.
Got that Vince invitation down pat, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, well, they're fired. I've been practicing that one. I have that video saved on my computer, so don't judge me. Y'all don't judge me.
So, any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
Hopefully, Royal Rumble is better.
That's what I mean, hopefully we get fans.
I feel like we have to review Royal Rumble together now. We have to.
Yeah, and I'm curious as to where they're gonna do it. I mean, we all hope it's in LA next year. We all know that Tampa was supposed to get it this past April, and they're still in line for another WrestleMania. They may do Tampa next year. From what I heard,
WrestleMania. Right now, the onus is still on LA, but that depends on this old lady named Rona and how she decides she wants to cooperate, because we could have been done with this months ago.
If you got to get that vaccine, Lord have mercy.
If people would have wore their mask they were asked to way back in March, we would have all wore masks for 30 days. We would have been done with Rona. Nobody wanted to listen.
30 days.
I'm sorry, certain people want to listen. 30 days.
30 days.
Masks
I'm gonna tell you what ruined it. All these protesting and all this marching killed that real quick.
It did, but don't want to make this too political. Just gonna put it this way.
It's all politics and money and what have you.
Hopefully, LA can keep their WrestleMania. Hopefully, this will be all died down by then, and we can get live events back to being full live events. But if not,
actually, they aren't doing live events anymore, from what I'm hearing. So, they said they're not doing live events at all. A few months back, they say we're not doing any more live events. I mean, the numbers were down before the pandemic, so they're just doing
WWE.
Raw, SmackDown, NXT pay-per-views, no house
Oh,
shows.
you're talking about house shows. Yeah. They were cutting back on house shows because those numbers weren't down, but live events is where WWE makes their money.
Yeah.
House shows and merch is sold mostly at house shows. If I can go to a house show and buy my stuff and have it the same day, I'm not going to order on WWE.com.
Yeah.
I gotta wait a week.
That's my point. Yeah.
Why
But
wait? Well, you can go ahead and get it.
Well, the only problem with a live show is they don't have all their sizes that you want. You either gotta get what they bring you, or
Well, sir, you have a common body size, so you fit into a nice large T-shirt. So yes, large is one of the most popular sizes on the market. So yes, you just have to work a little extra hard to get your shirt. But they usually have like 6 kiosks where you can go buy things at a WWE shop.
Hey, I mean,
like Shawn Michaels.
Big and tall should stay in, but we all know that don't happen no more. So.
I sound like Shawn Michaels with my cheap pops. Shop WWE.shop.com.
Okay.
But this has been fun, guys. I'm definitely down to do this with you guys for however often we want to do this. If it's weekly, monthly, I don't know. That's up to y'all.
Hey, I say let's do it monthly. As a matter of fact, I don't know if y'all want to add NXT or do an AEW type review. I think we're on schedule for January 6th.
Yeah, New Year's Eve was January 6th.
Right. Let me see. The next pay-per-view, wrestling pay-per-views
is the Rumble for WWE. I'm not sure what's on the set for AEW. So.
I know, AEW. I think they had like a series of shows.
And it starts. I think if I'm not mistaken, AEW actually is not going to be aired as scheduled on Wednesday due to NBA. So they're going to be on 2 hours later. So, if you have TNT and you are looking for it on the 8 o'clock hour, it'll come on at 10. And then if you have the alternate TNT channel, it'll come on at midnight.
Okay, so their last pay-per-view was Full Gear. So wait, Full Gear. Oh, that already happened. That ain't happened yet. Their pay-per-views and AEW's pay-per-views. Next one's supposed to be Revolution. Oh no, they're doing Beach Break. They're gonna do a Bash at the Beach type situation. They just don't have a date for that one, but it's in January.
Bash at the Beach in January. Wait a minute. That don't sound. How can you do Bash at the Beach in January?
Well, we need a Bash at the Beach in January. Let's be real about it. Let's be real about it. We need a trip to the beach, even if it's digitally, because I need Rona to leave me alone. She don't want to go away.
Sure. All right, hold on. I gotta ask. I don't know if anybody saw the last couple episodes of AEW. What do we think about Sting coming back on TNT Network for the first time in 19 years?
I have my mixed thoughts about that, but he just came back, so just have to see where it leads.
I think I was more excited hearing Tony Schiavone lose his mind.
Yes, the classic.
So happy. He was so happy. So yeah,
because he hadn't done it in 19 years. I don't even think they worked together in that long. I mean, he didn't go to Impact with Mike Tenay back in 2002. So I mean,
actually, Tony Schiavone was in Impact for a week and quit, and he left the rest of the business like after that.
Oh yeah, and of course he started doing Georgia football college games and whatnot. Yeah.
And I believe he was doing Braves baseball as well. But yeah, my feeling on it is, I hope he doesn't hurt himself.
Yeah,
I know,
that's my main
61 years
concern.
old.
Oh boy. I didn't think he was ever going to be able to get back into the wrestling ring after this Seth Rollins. Okay.
I think we should
So-
go ahead and wrap this up now.
That's fine.
Yeah, but we definitely should like plan on at least trying to do something on a monthly basis.
Cool. Works for me. Works for me.
I'm good. I'm wide open.
I agree with that. Hopefully they won't be as bad as TLC was.
No, let's pray. Let's
just
pray on
pray
that
for
one.
it. Let's pray for it and see what happens.
I don't know
Oh,
when the
my
next
goodness.
pay-per-views are going to be, but the plan was if the Rumble goes off as it's supposed to, Edge was supposed to come back, but I don't think he's healing the way he's supposed to, which is why Randy was taken out of the title picture. But that I'm just going by from what I've heard, because they wanted the Randy and Edge.
Of course, yeah.
rivalry to end
If not, has he recovered from that torn pectoral yet?
I don't think so.
Um,
He is older. He's much older than he used to be, so he's probably healing slower.
yeah, it's gonna take a little time for him to come back. Assuming that he will come back.
Yeah, but like you said, I agree. We can go ahead and wrap this on up and go back to our respective lives and try to figure out what WWE is and or isn't doing. And it's Tuesday, so it's Impact Day. And
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Impact, and Impact's kind of interesting because they have AEW merging some storyline with Impact Wrestling. Kenny Omega showed up last week with the championship, so they have a scheduled match with he and former cruiserweight, who's now the champ, Rich Swann of all people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, Rich
He got a
Swann is the
big push.
champ. Yep, huge push.
I don't know whether I'm happy or sad.
Why would you be sad?
Because he should have got his push in WWE, but
I mean, he got it just to be cruiserweight champ. That was it. And then he had his incident with his wife. They let him go. I mean,
and then she came out and said that it wasn't as what they said it was. So I'm just like,
hey, but Impact Wrestling don't care. They'll take you no matter what you do.
oh, that convict wrestling out there. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge
All right, guys. Let's wrap
right.
it up. Thank you, guys.
No doubt. No
Can't
doubt.
wait to do this again.
A month from now. Yep.
Let's do it.
Hey,
Let's do it. Later.
bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care.